What's good, everybody? We got trouble in Duval County. Trevor Lawrence injured. Christian Kirk out for the fantasy playoffs. Find out what to do with these two. All that and more on Wednesday night AMA coming at you right now.
You know it.
Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got money coming at you. Money is coming at you.
Dude. Already, that's how we're starting off, just cash.
Cash everywhere, you know? Cash rules everything around me.
What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Hopefully you made it through Week 13 unscathed, but if you got Jamar Chase, you should have started him, Adam. I see it in the comments already. Can we discuss Adam's lack of faith in Jamar Chase?
Let's talk about it, because Nico Collins outscored Jamar Chase. I don't understand why I'm getting shit for this. Listen, I can understand getting shit ahead of time. Like, hey, you're going to sit Jamar Chase, you're an idiot. But then when you actually get it right, you go against the grain and get it right, you still get shit. You see, this is what I deal with. This is the mic that I have to deal with, all right? You can't win. There is no winning.
Thanks for starting it off so great, Twinkle Toes. Really appreciate you.
Where is Twinkle Toes? I'm trying to get the comment up. Here we go. Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
I don't know who this is.
Doesn't matter.
Hemar. All of a sudden, I just want to talk about Mike's growth, by the way, because Mike was the staunchest anti-Jamar Chase, and now he's the pro-anti. Is that a word, pro-anti?
What?
You're pro-Jamar Chase now, you know?
Listen, we had one disagreement about a trade where the guy got offered like 6 firsts for Jamar Chase, and he turned it down or paid it. I don't care.
That's
Who gives
fair.
a shit?
Yeah. Is it 9:30 yet? Daniel, it is. We're a couple minutes late. Felix says, we have some questions. We're going to get right into it real quick. I got Felix's questions here. So, Justin Fields for Bryce Young plus if you're rebuilding. Superflex, tight end, premium, extra. It's a good question. We had a similar one, but there was an extra wrinkle, right? In the Discord.
I'll take the Justin Fields plus side, or the Bryce Young plus side. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I was confused for a second, but I got you now. Yeah.
1 for 1, I'm taking Justin Fields.
Definitely.
Not because like Bryce is going to be out of a job, but no matter what happens in Chicago, Fields is playing somewhere, right? He's going to be a starting quarterback for somebody. He's too fucking good.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Like he's better than, I don't know, 16, 17 current NFL starting quarterbacks. You feel good?
Yeah, I mean, like I would definitely say I want Fields over Bryce Young. Like I'm not gonna debate that at all. However,
yeah.
I would say the plus is key though. If I'm getting a decent plus, I will take the Bryce Young side for sure. Just the way I play, you know.
Second.
Ooh, that's about right in the sweet spot where I'm not sure if I want to take it, but I could tell you that even if it doesn't feel the greatest, the process move for me more often than not is just to take that plus.
Mid-second in 24.
All right, so you put me on the spot right now. You're saying 205, 206 type thing?
Yep. With this class and everything we know about it, mid-second, 2024. Bryce Young.
I think I'm going to take I'm going to take the Bryce Young side 90% of the time.
There you go. That's where I'm at.
The 10% is going to be, you know, subject to either what my team is, something random with like league settings, or you know, it's a really shallow starters. I don't want to take the risk, but more often than not, 90% of the time, I'm taking the Bryce Young side. I think with the plus, right?
If it's Bryce Young in a first,
I'm not thinking about it in pretty much any format. I don't think.
Keep Trade Cut hates Bryce Young though.
Is Keep Trade Cut still hate Justin Fields? Justin Fields has been probably one of the most up and down rising players. So
QB 15.
I think that's another thing about why I would take this trade is, like, I've seen Justin Fields be great in fantasy, and I've seen the community still hates him. It's not like I'm getting off one of these, surefire, locked and loaded top 10 for the next few years in the way the community approaches it, right? So
I get behind that.
I'm going to take the Bryce Young in the extra first, or as long as it's like a mid-second or better in value, player-wise, whatever, and it makes sense for your format, I would do it.
That's fair. I'm in.
And I know people are going to hate that, but
that's a good question.
I know people are going to hate that. People hate them from Bryce Young right now, Mike. You know that, right? Well, shit. Why can't we have nice things?
We can't have nice things, right? Trevor Lawrence down, ankle injury. If you don't have a trade deadline, I talked about it a little bit on America's Game, but just so you guys know, you don't really have to worry too much unless you're like one of these teams that needs to win and get in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But if you're kind of in that spot, like Adams talked about this, you said it, like, am I just, kicking the can down the road, really? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to trade for a quarterback, take a value hit, and then I'm still going to get bounced in the first round or possibly lose this week and not even get in at all. Don't do that shit.
No, because if your window's not now, like Mike, I'll give you an example. Somebody hit me up and they still have A-Rich, which they haven't moved, right? And T-Law went down. And it's like, all right, what can I do to stay afloat? I'm like, listen, frankly, I'm not playing the game with the team that you have unless you're moving both of these guys and you're going all the way in to have a real shot at winning. Because I'm not going to have both those dudes' value on my bench and try to make like some trade either with one of those quarterbacks or first-round picks or something and then try to go win. Like, your window's next year. You get T-Law and A-Rich, sometimes the guys are telling you it's next year, Like, that's okay.
Right.
But I don't want to – I want to go – if my team is ready to go win, I want to go win now, even if I have one of these injuries. But I think it's important to monitor the rest of your roster. Like, is this really a savvy move, or am I just really hurting myself in another year or two from now, right?
Hey, guys, I just turned down a Brock Purdy deal. Like, me sending away one of my Brock Purdy shares.
Oh.
I think I only have two.
That was actually a facetious, I thought you were kidding around. Like, someone offered you Purdy and you said no.
Speaking of injured quarterbacks, it's the guy who's got I think he's got the 3 seed, right? He's got Anthony Richardson on his bench. Playoffs are coming right around the corner, So I thought maybe it'd be a pertinent move. I'll send you Brock Purdy, and maybe a plus, and I'll get your Anthony Richardson. I'm rebuilding. I don't give a shit. And the counter was, I get Anthony Richardson, right, Adam? But I got to send away Brock Purdy, Kyron Williams, and my 25 first. Fuck you. Not happening.
The math doesn't seem to add up. Flowosaurus, I would say my answer to this question is maybe. I just don't know of that world today.
Is there? No.
It doesn't exist as far as I'm aware of, Maybe it's out there. Maybe it's out there. Like maybe some other universe, right?
I guess if Stroud was going to be playing in, you remember that Buffalo-New England game from a couple years ago where it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds or 60-mile-an-hour winds? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the one where they, New England, I think, only threw the ball like a couple times, like twice, literally.
Yeah, like twice, maybe. Yeah, total.
I remember it, yes.
There you go. There's your scenario. Outside of that, no.
I think the answer is... Well, I don't know. What I've looked at so far, Mike, and I know it's several days ahead. I've done some peeking of like the weekly forecast. I have not seen anything that's that detrimental. So, I think I'm just going to play Stroud almost every single time. But
let me go look at the weather forecast from
pull up, see if I remember looking, and I didn't see anything that was like holy crap, I'm not playing anyone in this game type thing.
Right. It does play in New York, which can have some bad weather.
Very adverse weather this time of year.
It does say it will be very windy, but it'll be.
What are we talking?
Degrees.
What's very windy?
Very windy? This is AccuWeather.
Does it give you
45 miles an hour? Wind will be 24 miles an hour.
24 is not that bad, but the gust to almost 50 is kind of concerning.
A little bit, right?
I think though. Can I tell you the truth, Mike?
I still don't want to play Josh Dobbs, who will probably turn the ball over 4 times.
And CJ Stroud, I trust.
Right.
Y'all can't get me off of him ever again.
Never.
I'm not leaving.
Never.
Glasses up. Cheers and drink. Matt Dennis.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate you.
buddy.
You know,
Glad
whether
you
you're locked
did.
in a bedroom or not, you know, I'll cheers and drink to that.
Well, that was a freak accident, though. Like, how many doors have, like, door knobs anymore, right? Like, every door that in my house has got one of those, like, it's a lever system. It's not an actual knob. It's a door handle.
Right. But you got to remember, this is a, like, over 100-year-old school, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Fair. But it's still a freak accident.
I mean, yeah.
It happened on
I'm not telling you that you should be expecting the door to lock you in. However, you know.
Every time I was locked in a room in Canton, it was voluntarily.
Boy, you put the shades on this man, and it turns into ruckus. It turns into ruckus hour. Fresh off of a shot too. Let's go. Hey, real quick before we get to all these questions, Ethan, I know I had yours up. I got your starred here. Don't you worry. I got you next. Real quick, let's touch on the injuries and of Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence and what you're doing or any type of, you know, thoughts you have on the matter. Because people are screwed, frankly, in a lot of situations right now. They have to make a move or do something.
If I'm a realistic contender, I'm moving Trevor Lawrence, right? Like, just moving him. Let me get a Geno Smith. Let me get a Jared Goff. Let me get if you can do a 1-for-1 and, like, stay within for somebody stupid like that, you know, like they don't believe in Kyler.
Hold on. Actually, it's interesting. You just mentioned Jared Goff. Ethan, I said I'd get yours next. I'll get yours next. All right? I have a question that's very pertinent to the conversation, actually. Okay. Lost Kirk and T-Law. I'm afraid I'm screwed. Yeah, probably true. Would you send both for Goff and Dylan? 12-team Superflex Best Ball Start 11. This is my first Best Ball Dynasty attempt.
Not both. I'd send T-Law for Goff and Dylan. Like, I think that's a reasonable approach if you're built correctly in best ball. Like, that's how you stay afloat.
Is it? Would you send both if the second person wasn't Dylan? Like, what would that need to look like? Or would you send it if there's a third person added to this player, this thing?
You get a third person? Can I get a wide receiver, like a top 40-ish wide receiver?
Let's give like two ideas and ranges. That way, maybe always. I think always. Okay, nice. Always can make a counter back based on their roster, right? So, like, ranges of players you would take as a third, the third option.
Cortland Sutton.
I would do that. Cortland Sutton's been playing well enough. It's gross, but I would do it. What if it was? What if you remove Dylan now?
If I remove Dylan,
yeah, and you want
the other receiver coming back.
Yep.
Debo, is that possible still?
And I I hate me some Debo, but right now is about peak. Like, you know, this is probably that's tough. That's a tough ask. You could try it. It's a tough ask based on where you're starting here. I think. What else is in that range?
Adams.
That's more likely. That's more likely to get done, I'd bet. What about I would have said
Allen, if that's still a thing, but I highly doubt that.
I would have said Christian Watson before this. He got hurt too.
I would have, yeah.
What about Evans?
Calvin Ridley? Yeah, definitely Evans. Easily.
Yeah, I'm trying to I think that's about it though, Mike. Are you still gonna? Okay, you said Ridley. This is actually a good question based on the Jacksonville discussion. Like, do you think the one thing about Ridley? We talked all our shit, but if we be completely honest and keep it real, Ridley at least though had this ceiling in this offense. He's had a low floor, but he's had a ceiling. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. My only concern with Ridley now is, does he still have a ceiling with Beathard? Like, I don't know that that's the case. That's my only concern with Ridley. If that's trying to be as unbiased about the situation as possible, but also truthful.
You know, CJ's probably tuning in, man. He knows I got his back.
Please do. Mike, nothing would make me more happy than any NFL player ever tuning into our show, even if I'm talking shit.
That's true.
I'd be okay. I could live with it, you know?
Yeah. I think I'd still do it, right? Because he still has the possibility of blow up, and now there's no Christian Kirk to contend with, too. So targets get even more pared down.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably get more target volume, and I think his ceiling does come down some, but I don't know. That one's fringy for me. But, yeah, I'm with you on a lot of the other ones. I think if you get a Debo, it's a smash. If you get a Keenan Allen smash, Devontae Adams smash, Mike Evans smash.
Just know always here. I love the name. If you're like the 5 seed, the 4 seed, and there's a couple teams a lot better than you, don't do anything. Just take your L's, move on. Right? It's best ball. There's a lot less variance in best ball.
Great
So
point,
just something to
actually,
point
dude.
out. If you're the 1 or 2 seed, your team has been looking good all year. Yeah, make a move. But if you're just kind of fringe, just hit the pass button, man. Play for 24. I know it sucks, but we all get told we're not going to get it at some point. And this is the fantasy gods saying no.
Listen, man, I got Mike. I don't know. I got through to some people. We got eggplants in here, man. Lined
Some
up.
eggplants?
Yeah, people are listening. All right, let's get back to. I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
One, we gave you some options, but two, if you're not because especially this last part of the sentence, Mike, I think was a great point that you just made. This is your first best ball dynasty attempt. If you're in the driver's seat right now and you lost T-Law and Kirk, I'd make this type of a trade because I want to stay there, right? If you buy, you have a trade deadline, you got to make this move, cool. But to Mike's point, if you're not realistically like if this trade that you are about to make doesn't make you in the mix as the top 2, top 3, I'm not doing this. You're better off to wait till next year.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I'm a lot more cautious, right? Like a lot more evaluation goes into should I sell him. Christian Kirk, unfortunately, I mean, plug your ears if you're a big Christian Kirk stan. Like he's good, Adam. We've been standing for him for a while, but he's always kind of fallen into that replaceable wide receiver range where there's just a giant group. There's a giant group of them. You know what I mean? And they're all kind of about the same. So I would say even if I was a fringe guy, like that's still a wide receiver 1-for-1. I'm moving. And we talked about it with Eric on America's Game. Like even a Jerry Jeudy at this type, like, all right, worst case scenario, Judy's a little bit less valuable than Christian Kirk. But at least I gave myself a shot, right? Like if Christian Kirk was the only injury always was talking about here, you didn't have the T-Law, his quarterbacks were good or whatever, and he was still the 5 seed in the best ball, I'm still making the Christian Kirk move. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, well,
like I'm still giving myself a puncher's chance because I'm not missing out on a top tier quarterback.
Dude, that's why I made the point.
Moving into a different wide receiver that's basically the same thing anyways.
Yeah, that's why I made that point exactly, Mike, of like Christian Kirk's also the reason I say he's hated is it's not like when I wait on him, I'm going to get him back next year and there's this big bump. Realistically, like you're not going to get a big dynasty value bump, right? So that's the type, especially in best ball, I'm pivoting out of. Like you'd be shocked what I would probably take in a deal for Christian Kirk. Y'all motherfuckers, don't go sending me lowball offers because you just heard that now, all right? Because I got myself a bunch of Kirk, Mike.
Done.
12 teams, Superflex, PPR, 0 tight end premium, start 9. Roster construction tips. Will I be able to contend next year? I have Hurts, Hollywood. Interesting. Hurts, Hollywood, Warren, and Reed, Javonte, Laporta. Okay, so he's got you're giving me 2 receivers, 2 running backs, Laporta, Hurts, 101, 102, 103, 106, 202 and 203, and 302, plus 2 picks in every round of 25 and 26. All right. So the question is, will I be able to contend next year? Ethan, and Mike, I'm curious if you disagree or agree with this point. I personally, with a team like this, with a build like this, with you only mentioning really 6 people here to me, was that right? 6? Yeah. This is a team where my window is not really next year that I'm looking to push into early. I'd probably take what I could in the 24 draft, move still for value, with the plan of 25 being my year to really contend. And now anything you piled for 26 is now this extra liquidity you have in the 25 season to push in when everybody else is eventually, inevitably going to have, failed contenders because over time they're making wrong moves. So the way I would approach this is I'm not going to write next year off, but I'm not viewing next year as my window. I'm viewing 2025 as my very strong window, and I'm moving my 26 picks that I'm gathering in the season of 25 or before that to really make my team correct with roster construction. I'm not going to say you can't contend next year. I'm just not looking to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one too. Far too many people I see, like, they try to force a contention window. Like, you just got to let it come to you. Like, and you're going to know it when you get it, right? Somebody comes to you for that 103 and sends you an offer where you're just like, damn, you're going to give me all these really good vets for this one pick? Like, I'm getting 3 of these dudes that are all going to be starters in a start 9 lineup and difference makers. Guess I'm competing this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't really planning on it, but I'm going to roll out Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams or Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., these receivers. I just got 3 other pieces that are really good for the 103. Now the 106, the 202, 203, those are depth pieces for me. Could I package them and maybe move into something else now? Like, you're going to know it when it happens. Just don't force it, right? It's kind of like losing your virginity, right? You don't need to force that shit. It'll happen when you're ready. When the timing's right. So, Ethan, don't break your cherry just yet, buddy. All right? I know he said he loves you, cares about you. He's probably lying. Be patient. Be patient.
Wise words from a
You
wise
like that?
man, you know?
I got teenage daughters, man.
You don't have to, listen, you're going to, I guess it depends on the person. It's going to come to you eventually, you figure. I watched a movie one time, though, Mike, when somebody was 40 and couldn't figure out how to lose it. But
that's true.
That's more of the rare example. They make a movie out of you if you can't do it by 40, right?
Snip, snap.
I think, too, one of the things, Ethan, I would be absolutely exploring if your trade deadline's not over is any teams that have a chance at really sniffing in the playoffs and making moves. Everything we just talked about with Trevor Lawrence, guys like Joe Burrow, if they're still hanging around. I think this is you owe yourself at least exploring those type of players. I'm not now. Don't get me twisted here. I'm not giving up your farm great picks here. I'm not looking to send my 101, 102, 103 type picks for these guys, right? But if you can find a way to attain those quarterbacks in this window, like that's something you should be doing right now and then all of next year if you're willing to wait until 2025. I think because the reality is, Ethan, in 2025, even if things go against you, your team is going to be ridiculously loaded if you just go through the right process. And in 2024, it could happen, but like it's no lock. And if you end up pushing it, here's the thing: when you rebuild, you're basically saying I'm not ready to win now, and your goal is to win down the road. If you decide to make your window too early to push in, guess what you're going to end up doing? Fucking it up, and then you got to rebuild again. So it's just going to make your rebuild actually longer, and you're going to have this blue ball situation in between. Speaking of virginity, so. All right, man. Oh, my gosh, this has awful potential off the rails today. Man.
Starting off great, buddy.
T-Law, JT, Kirk, Dell, all in one weekend. I'm in shambles. What are some pivot options for these injuries? Dynasty Alex, I will give you one piece of advice. This is where I pray that you didn't, do all of it. You didn't go ahead and lose that virginity. You have no liquidity, and you're screwed. There's some I'm not going to tell you don't have any. We can maybe pivot options, but there's also times where I don't care if it's lineup, best ball. I mean, a man can only withstand so much, man. You're going to get all four of these in one weekend. Sometimes, as much as you want to still win now, you have to accept the blow. Fuck. That's why we play multiple leagues, It ain't my league. It ain't my year here, right?
Probably the worst mistake I see a lot of people do is this happens, right? The fantasy gods tell you, Adam, it's not your time, son. It's not your year.
What don't you get? I've been doing this week in and week out. You're not winning, okay?
I'm taking half your starting lineup in 1 week, all right? Just so you know. That's when you go, okay, I get it. Fuck me, right? And you just go, I'm going to take my medicine. We'll see y'all next year. We'll try again. The worst mistake I see people make is I'm going to move T-Law for Dobbs and some shit, right? I'm going to move JT for Zach Moss, straight up. I'm going to move Christian Kirk for, Jalen Tolbert because I like the fact that he's playing more snaps or some shit. Right? This is how it starts. And then pretty soon, what happens next year in the offseason? Hey, man, Dynasty Alex leaving the league. No shit. This is a terrible orphan. How the fuck do you fill this thing?
I'll tell you.
Paid up.
I tell you, you open your wallet and you say, "Here's a free year." The commissioner gets boned. It's not fun, right?
Well, Dynasty Alex did say these are just a portfolio. Some of the players he owns the most of.
Oh, all right. That's totally different. That's totally different. Let's go through. Let's do the discussion then. Okay, fair enough.
We did an hour and a half with Eric today on America's Game coming out tomorrow on every one of those guys.
Yeah, we could. What do you think, Mike? Do we wait? Do you just say, "Hey, go check it out tomorrow"? All right, I think that's fair. I'll just give you.
You got a day. Thursday night football until later, and it's a
we also.
game you're gonna watch.
This is the one Thursday night game, Mike. If you told me I had to miss it, you wouldn't be punishing me at all. I'm debating watching it in the beginning.
As husbands, significant others, people who tap into the show, your significant others.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. It sounded weird when you said as husband, but I'm all right. I'm okay
You know
now.
what I mean?
Yeah, I do now.
But, as these people who are dynasty degenerates, football degenerates, do you think this is the one night we get in, good graces? Because we've had 13 weeks of us just,
I think
you don't get to
yes.
talk to me on Saturdays,
Yes.
you don't talk to me on Sunday, you don't talk to me on Monday night, you don't talk to me on Thursday night. Do you think
Yes,
tomorrow night
actually,
is the night I'm like, baby,
it's already done for me.
You want to go out to dinner? You want to go to a movie or something?
Let me give you my plan, all right? I'm going to tell you, everybody handle this in your own way with your own wives, okay? The whole just singular husbands threw me off for a second there, Mike, when you first said it. But now that I know what we're talking about. Yeah, so I already planned, Mike. So she wakes up. My wife likes for me to write a note. And if you don't know, I mean, I'm not someone that's going to write a handwritten note to really anybody other than her. And I do it for her, right? So I'll write a handwritten note. Hey, hope you have a good day, blah, blah, blah. I thought about it in football tonight. I think we just, you and I deserve some time, give her something like that. She'll be all excited, wake up tired, and then boom. That's going to just send her into an excited day. And you're going to need that because guess what's coming up? The fantasy playoffs. Sometimes you need a little, relief because you've been doing this all year. You're about to go into ridiculous mode. I mean, we're going to be doing content, Mike, and watching every football game in our sleeper apps, no one's business because we don't have trade deadlines. We have waiver. It's going to be bad. So do yourself a favor. Give her the gift of missing Zappy and Trubisky. All right, and you call that a double win, right?
Well, think about the future, right? Fantasy playoffs. Bowl season is now upon us. NFL playoffs will be very, very shortly after that, right? So, just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, man.
I deserve some time. That's 4D chess.
Yeah, we exactly.
Got it, true.
You see that? You and I deserve some time.
Yeah. Thinking ahead.
Code for babe. The quarterback's watching on this game. No. I'm saying our code, bro code. They don't know. But Bailey Zappi, I can hardly handle even knowing he's playing, let alone watching it.
I did see a TikTok too.
Cola Farm is Cola Farm. I had to put this up here. Waffles are the best. Cola's coming back with a vengeance. I love this.
Trash.
All right, Steve Carell. First, hold on. I'm sorry, Steve. I'm skipping people. I can't do that. Just traded a 24 mid-second and the 301 for Geno. Thoughts? 10-team, Superflex start 11, fourth place team, had T-Lon Richardson. I think in 10-team, I would say in the 12-team, this is 100% a smash. I'm not saying I won't do it in a 10-team, but in a 12-team, this would be ridiculous. I would do this every single time. Yeah. 10-team, I'm a little cooler on it, but the reality is if you need a quarterback option, this is the best you could get. You got to do what you got to do to go win the title still. So I'm okay with it. You didn't give up the farm. And also in a 10-team, you're looking for studs, and these 301s and mid-seconds don't do as much to help you find a stud either.
And at least explore it, right? At least explore moving those other two, seeing what you can get.
Yeah.
Don't do yourself a disservice, right? There are delusional people out there that will do one-for-ones for guys that are playing versus guys that aren't playing, because they think they're so much better than the other one, right? Herbert and Burrow, Herbert and T-Law, right? That kind of thing. So just throw it out there. See what happens. Some people hate Dak Prescott, yet they still roster Dak Prescott. You're telling me to move a T-Law for Dak straight up, and he's playing better anyways?
These comments are tripping me out on the
So good, man.
Jay Jackson's 4D. In here. It's a 4D move. Give her that 4D.
Give her that 4D, man.
I got to get back up to the question. All right.
Life advice.
We got another. See, every now and again, not that you asked for it, but we try to give you some life advice. I don't know that I'd take it all the time. Most of it I probably wouldn't take, but maybe that one you do.
Dynasty, virginity, and giving your wife the 4D.
I'll save the 50 till after the playoffs is over.
Wednesday night AMA.
10-team half PPR, Superflex start 10, Justin Herbert and the 201 in 24, or the 103 in 24 and Tony Pollard. I would take Herbert over the 103, and I would take the 201 over Tony Pollard. So which side do you want here, Mike?
I'm taking Herbert in the 201.
I agree.
It's a 10-team.
I agree. It's the 201 versus Pollard is definitely the 201 for me, but it's also because that's the 111 in the 12 team, right? That's a really good receiver, but I want the stud quarterback edge. Listen, I like Drake May quite a bit. I would in 10 team. There's no way Harrison's falling to you here. So this is either Caleb Williams or Drake May. It's probably gonna be Drake May. And I love Drake May, but I want Herbert over him significantly. Still, as much as I do like Drake May, it's just way more certain. So I'll take that side, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first Dynasty Best Ball League. We got another one. Joined because of you guys. Oh man, look at that. Well, I need the shades. I'm about to shed a tear. How many zeros is it okay on a contender to take? This is a great question. 12 team Superflex, 1.75 tight end premium, start 11, 30-man roster. So the 30-man roster is what we need to know. I have JT, Tank, Kirk, Dimes, Mac Jones wasting roster spots. So honestly, here's the thing, Mike. This is 5. My answer on a 30 is I don't want any, but the max I would ever take is 5.
It's 5.
Is the max. Right. That's like you're at top dollar right now. You have 0 other spots to play with. They all need to be churned and burned for people that are playing. If you're going to hold every single one of these guys, which I wouldn't do, by the way.
That's assuming you don't have some fringe guys on your roster too, who are basically zeros.
I'm sure that you do, but if you even if you do, you have to at least move those for someone on the wire. Do something in a trade. Get a body in there, a warm body. Like I know it sounds crazy, but the other 25 have to be players that are going to have a chance to score. They have to be.
So the easiest ones, right? Not a lot of people are going to pay a lot for Dimes. Nobody's paying shit for Mac Jones. JT's a running back, so you're down to like 4 teams that possibly would want to take him on anyways, if any.
Tank Dell is the one here that I absolutely want to sell.
Tank Dell and Christian Kirk would be must moves for me on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Tank Dell is still trading around Dynasty, top 15 Dynasty wide receiver even after a broken leg. You can easily get into a top 24 Dynasty wide receiver asset 1 for 1.
You should be able to, right?
Asked.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Top 30. Like the thing is, Tank Dell is because he's still attached to Herbert, to Stroud, and he's played so well. You know everyone's interested in Tank Dell as a rebuilder. I mean, hell, I'm interested in Tank Dell as a rebuilder. Like everybody is. So you have a good market with him. JT does not have a very good market right now. His market is depressed. Dimes is. I don't know that he had the greatest market to begin with. Now it's really bad. Mac Jones is absolutely no market. Like Christian Kirk is another one I would try to move. That might be subject to your specific league, what his market is. There's a lot of Christian Kirk haters, I feel as though. So I'm trying to move him and Tank Dell at all costs. I would say it that way.
You can go down pretty crusty with Christian Kirk and still come out ahead.
No, I dude, trust me. Let me just tell you who I would go down to. Let's see. All right, Mike, here we go.
Trade deadline has come and gone. Well, you're stuck with this now because you're not going to cut any of these dudes.
Okay.
So you're fucked.
No, yeah. So, yeah, we could just end the tangent a long time ago. This is your 5 that you have to hold, and everybody else now needs to be churned and burned at the bottom of your roster. If you can't,
you have to be right. Those 25 guys who are on your team, you got to look at them through a microscope, right? I know you're the backup tight end, but have you done fucking anything? Are you playing snaps? If you're not, gone, cut. Like you have to be very, very picky now with the remaining 25.
Yeah, I would tell you this: anybody on IR that's not at this point, I'm sure it's not a quarterback. So, like, I don't know what the names are possibly that you might consider holding, but they got to go. Like, I'm trying to think. Like Cam Akers, he should have already been gone. There's no room for a guy like him. I'm trying to think of who else. J.K. Dobbins, gone. Any of these types, gone.
Cut.
That's a tough one to cut, but you have to do it now. You have to cut. You have to cut one of those 6. You cannot hold all 6 of those. You can't.
Cut. Yeah.
Would you cut? Yeah. Would you cut him or Mac?
I'd cut him before I'd cut Mac.
It's just because I struggle to believe that Chubb is. I know he's going to play. I just struggle to believe he's going to be the old Chubb ever again. That's my problem with Nick Chubb at his age. So.
And when is he going to play? Midway through next year.
Fair. I mean, I can't cut Mac, but man, his market's also so terrible. God.
Yeah, it's bad. Be closer. But if I had to choose between the two,
I would agree. I'd agree.
Shit, I cut Nick Chubb like week 6.
All those running backs are off pretty much every one of my rosters unless I'm rebuilding. But to your point, like, Mac Jones has come down considerably in my thought process of even discussing a cut. I never would have thought I would do that, frankly.
Yeah. All
right, so let's get into a couple more questions. Here. We have a He super chatted, so you get the answer. My wife's gonna love this. So I've been having a lot to drink lately. Full-time content creator. You drink a lot of bourbon if you're me, and this is so my wife and I met at the Kentucky Derby. All right, now the only exception is this was not the year, but this is a Kentucky Derby version of the Woodford Reserve. And listen, I had to open it. Sorry, we sold the bottle, but the bourbon needed a drink. So I definitely need to give my wife the hey, we deserve some time when she finds out this drink is over.
There's a pretty local distillery here called Blom Brothers, and I've had their vodka, and it's fucking amazing.
Really?
BLOMM? BLAUM. Blom. Blom.
Okay.
Adam, I'm thinking about probably sometime in January, maybe February, Valentine's Day. Me and my wife will be taking a trip over. It's about 15 minutes away. Galena, get an Airbnb or hotel room for the weekend. Having, hey, I know I did football season, so, I'm sorry. Here's some quality time. That kind of thing.
What is this episode? This is like a wife life advice right here. Yeah.
Relationship advice. But I'm going to hit that distillery up because I've had their vodka, and it's fantastic. They got a vodka called Hellfire. It's the greatest thing I think I've ever had. It's like a jalapeno vodka. It's amazing. Great.
Ooh, that
straight.
That would be interesting. I've had some that I like and some that I hate, but if it's good, it's jalapeno vodka is actually really good.
So Greg, who you met at Canton, my cousin, he stopped there before he came to the family Christmas around Thanksgiving time, and he said their bourbon's actually really, really good too. And he was going through that whole sampler platter there when we met at that distillery.
We went to Gervasi Brothers. Or Gervasi Brothers. Yeah. Gervasi Vineyards.
So I trust his opinion. So Adam, I'm gonna try to get you a couple bottles here and get them sent your way, and we'll see what you think about it.
I'll tell you one thing.
Have a hookup, and then because they're local, I might go do a little promotional, hey, we got some bourbon enthusiasts, right?
Listen, well, I'll be here in Ohio. Maybe I'll come take a trip. We'll do a live stream straight from the the old bar.
We could set it up. Well, Blom Brothers, hook us up, boy.
I like where your head's at. In all capacities of that.
At the very least, I just want some Hellfire vodka. If you could throw me a free bottle every now and then, that'd be more than enough. Because that stuff is amazing.
Well, if they make if they're distilling and they're doing it right with bourbon, I'd be highly interested. So,
by the way, too, we're about midway through this, give or take. I don't know. I lose track of time. But big thank you to Mr. Ryan McDowell, DLF.
Oh yeah, I meant to say this earlier.
I don't think I've ever had a conversation with Ryan, whether it's in real person or through the internet or anything like that. We've never collabed or anything like that. Just
did you notice
shouting us out randomly on Twitter
out of the blue?
X.
Yeah,
so that's fucking awesome. Thank you.
That was really cool. I don't know if you noticed, Mike. So we did. So Sunday's already for those of you that are either newer or if you've been around the whole time, our Sundays are content heavy. I would use it that way. Okay. We do a patron show. If you're not a patron member, okay, one of the benefits, I don't know how much of a benefit it is, frankly. Our start sit game is not our strong suit. Okay. But
it is perfectly fine. We've had
I digress. I digress. We have Eric for that. Okay. So at 11:30, we have a patron only. If you want your start sit questions, a little more, intimacy, the Blom Brothers distilling type of experience, right? You come do that at 11:30. Then at noon, we have the start sit with everyone. We watch football. I'm over here basically having all kinds of work to do while watching football with Canton, getting everything set up so we can do the recap show. And then after the recap show, we did that show this week with it was really cool, actually. I really enjoyed that, by the way, with Maddie and our boy Cody, right? We did the watch along. So for 2 hours, the first 3 quarters of the game, we're on a stream with them. And I don't know if you noticed, Mike, but Ryan McDowell had hopped in.
I did.
And chatted there. And
I wasn't that fucked up.
Okay, well, I'm just asking, as some people say, I'm just asking the question, all right? I imagine you saw. So what was interesting about it, though, was the timing of that and that he's been watching our content for a while, obviously by the tweet. All unsolicited, it just... I couldn't believe it, man. It's one of those. I even responded to his tweet just reading this is surreal. Ryan fucking McDowell, man. This is Dynasty League football. Almost he's probably at 75 something some 75 some followers on fucking X, right? Like one of the OGs
Godfather.
in the space. Yeah, exactly. The Godfather.
The Godfather.
And Mike, I mean,
that's like old school, right? Like you pretty good, but he is the Godfather.
Godfather. Yes, exactly. And he's tweeting us out unsolicited. Like that was cool to see, man. I think I'll just say it this way too, from the perspective of that. Like, I don't know if anyone here is considering or not, if you do any content, but when we do content, Mike and I, the level that we've been trying to the last couple of years, there is no level. I love this game to death. If you don't, I couldn't imagine you'd do this. But towards the end, you start getting a little bit of fatigue. Like you're like, man, like this is a little bit of a grind. I'm not saying I want to stop doing it, but there's a fatigue level you kind of catch right around here. And I remember it last year, the same feeling. And something like that literally it moves mountains for how you're like feeling about the fatigue. You know what I mean in that moment?
About an adrenaline booster, right, buddy?
Man, it's
good stuff.
I'm ready to come down and do 4 shows, which, by the way, Mike, we're going to do 4 pieces of shows today. Anyway, thank you, Ryan McDowell, for the shout out. More than anything. And then really cool.
And then Scott Fish, man. Scott was like, "Oh, that's cool. Thank you. I'll check those."
Followed us. Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
I did really bad in my first Scott Fish Bowl, and I haven't been invited since. So maybe I can get back in.
Maybe.
Mike, they drafted so early. Like I literally hit. That was the year I hit both the Akers injury and the Dobbins injury, and my first 3 picks were 2 of them. Like before the season started, two of my first 3 picks. I'm like, this is gonna go really poorly, isn't it?
Speaking of movie references, then in that case, right? You did so bad. It's like that scene from Major League, right? Scott Fish and the boys are looking at it, going, "This guy here is dead." Well, cross him off.
Cross him off. Then.
That's you, buddy. You got crossed off.
Ooh, it just got hot. That's funny. Oh shit. All right. Let's try to get this back on the rails to some degree. I'm trying. DJ Platinum. Okay. DJ Platinum.
DJ Platinum.
Platinum. If rebuilding in a 12-team Superflex, start 10, no quarterbacks or running backs. All right. I can get behind this. Have 101, 102, 104, 107, 108, 111. Do you go 101 Caleb, 102 Marvin Harrison, let May go at 103? This is a good question. This is a really, really good question. Take the next QB at 104. This is a really good question, Mike. I see you shaking your head no. I think we might have a disagreement here, but I'm curious to see what you have to say.
I'm going quarterback.
Really?
And then at 104, probably going to quarterback. And then at 107, probably going quarterback. And now I got 4. 8 and 11, I take wide receivers. I don't have any running backs.
107, though, the only problem with 107 is we don't know that there's even a 4th getting drafted in the first round, right? Like
possibly, yeah. Right.
We hope, but I think DJ Platinum 1, if you know if your NFL draft, if your draft is post NFL draft or not, is big for me, because the way I would approach this, frankly, is I think I'm going to take one. I'm not guaranteed to take 101 and 102. So I just want to start off by letting you know you don't have to press the button on those first 2 picks in this situation. I'm probably, to be honest with you, Mike, I'm looking to see if someone will come up and get Caleb, especially 103 or vice versa. I'd like to get Marvin Harrison Jr., trade back, take whatever quarterback is left, and then if 104 is a quarterback 3, I'm taking that one too. I think that's what I'd like to do here. You're in such a good position with these picks that I think you can get, Mike, to your point, and I'd love the quarterback horde, but Marvin Harrison Jr. I think is going to be so highly valuable. Like he's almost flippable off the rip more so than a pick. It's going to be crazy, I think, his value. So I probably want to control him if I can here, and I want to get all the other quarterbacks. That you just mentioned 107. Like if there's another first-round quarterback there, it's 107. Yes, I'm 100% with you. I'm taking that. But I think I do want to secure Marvin Harrison here because he's so flippable. He's going to be – everyone and their mom's going to want to come pay for him. It's crazy. That's why I think I want to say that. Normally I would say no, but the wide receivers in Dynasty right now are just off the chain. And Marvin Harrison is going to be as highly valued as one has ever been. So he's kind of just the exception to the rule for me, frankly, in this situation. I think I'd look to secure Marvin Harrison Jr. And if I could trade back and not take Caleb or your pick, if you can trade from 102 to 103 and get any type of a plus, that's what I prefer to do.
I will take Marvin Harrison if I have quarterbacks. I will not take Marvin Harrison if I don't have quarterbacks. It's easy for me.
All right.
I'm securing quarterbacks.
In my
as I can get my hands.
I get you. In my situation here, I just look at this as if you're in no quarterbacks and no running backs on your team right now, I'm not looking to necessarily even compete this year. So I'm going ahead. I want to get Marvin Harrison. He's going to be valued like some of these quarterbacks. He's going to be in the Chase Jefferson range off the rip, which is insane. And then I'm going to secure all the other quarterbacks, still rebuild probably for another year, and then surefire my roster after that. But
I'm going rookie quarterback horde, baby.
All right. Dangerous game. I get you, though. I get you.
It's a great game. Even Bryce Young still got value next year. Stop it.
Bryce Young, for where you took him right now, is not a great game.
He still got value.
He does have value, but it's not a great game for where you press the button on him.
Is where you took him any worse than where you took Quentin Johnson, and what's he worth right now?
I would say at the where you took Quentin Johnson, it was anywhere. Either. What's that? I'm not capping. I haven't even spoke.
Don't
Jesus. I haven't even spoke a word. Where we took Quentin Johnson was in a tier in this class that we all kind of said it's getting gross. It falls off quickly in 23. Bryce was in that you got to come pay me to come get this guy, right? Like there was a difference in price for sure. And
it was like the 104.
And I think the biggest thing was Mike. I moved off my Quentin Johnson shares at a pretty good time because I got some nice returns a couple times.
Bryce was the 104.
Right. That was not a really high valued pick.
Well, QJ was in conversation at the 106. And don't act like he was the 112.
No, he was 107. JSN almost went ahead of him every single time. I was just meaning the 106 and up before and the 107 I felt like was a pretty clear dividing line. That's all I'm meaning. I'm not saying Quentin Johnson didn't go.
But I'm just saying it was 3 picks fucking different, and one of them's worth nothing. The other one still a starting quarterback with a job next year. It's worth something.
Yes, Quentin Johnson is one of the worst face planners of all time. I'm not trying to say that Quentin Johnson's a good pick. I'm saying Bryce has not continued to give you value, right? That's what I'm.
It's a dangerous game sometimes is taking these wide receivers.
Yes, it is, especially Quentin Johnson types. I would agree.
Jalen Reagors, Jerry Jeudy's.
Absolutely. Marvin Harrison Jr. Can we all agree Can we all agree Marvin Harrison Jr. is on a different planet? Speaking of, there was a question about what world. He's on a different planet than these other guys, right?
I'm just saying, though. Just saying. Just asking the question.
I get you. I like the question. I'm responding
QB
to the question. I'm responding to the question with I think Marvin Harrison is one of the most unlikely to bust, but not even that. I think his value is so ridiculous coming out that I think you could trade him in a rebuild for a haul to anyone.
And Trip, I get it. Maybe in casual leagues. How about that shot? Young was the 103. If you were paying attention to South Harmon leagues,
man, wow, I'm out here missing. We have an employee. What am I doing?
Oh man, you know what I'm excited about? Fizzle. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Love you. It's Eagles Dallas week. I'm sure we're gonna have fun on the Start Sit show with that this week.
Is that what this is all about?
This man, just so you all know, just get ready because I'll probably be insufferable talking about it, promoting it.
No, probably.
He's got an album dropping very, very soon.
Yes, he does.
Very, very soon. I already got a sneak peek. Sneak peek.
He gave you a little preview. Let's go.
Yeah, a little preview. A full song, maybe inspired by a certain podcast that somebody did. Comes out on Mondays.
I think I know it.
It hasn't come out for the last couple of weeks because I got to find some more guests.
Well, I think you have to ask a specific.
Fish,
yeah, I was gonna. That's worth a DM at minimum.
Yeah, just throw it out there. I've sent some out, but people are busy. It's holiday season. Thanksgiving was in there. It's kind of rough.
I wouldn't. I would never try to interview me or anything. So.
Oh, are you feeling okay?
I was kidding. I'm completely kidding, brother.
You
don't have to put me on the spotlight.
How's that feel? How's that feel that I put fucking Xbox on before you?
Feels good. The spotlight's supposed to, it's not supposed, Mike, we're supposed to not be spotlighting our own South Harmon thing. We're supposed to spotlight everybody else.
It's like retweeting yourself.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I'll quote tweet myself to let people know we're live, but I don't retweet my own shit. Jesus.
Is that hitting like that? That thing got slurry. Okay, good.
We're good. The
trade show. We have a later trade show. We've been doing a lot of our trade shows during the day. I don't think we're fucked at all. I think everyone has been waiting for a good, post AMA trade show.
I'm headed for pissing on my floor again. That's what's happening.
Good for you, buddy.
But on a plus note, I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm on vacation, so fuck that.
Let's see. So
I got some Farming Simulator 22 calling my name.
Trip Crown says, Adam, in Auction 5, be honest, did you check the league at all this year? Yes, I did. I can tell you, I don't know if I made very many moves, if any. I check all my leagues. There's some leagues I don't really make many moves in, and I do think this year I have struggled in some leagues to make as many as I want to because, as you expand to like 30 for me anyway, the way I like to play leagues is dynamics of the actual league. So I like to play league dynamics, which quarterback hoarding 101 is. Yeah. It doesn't exist unless you're playing the league dynamics of other managers. So certain leagues I haven't paid as much attention to. Shit Auction 5. Let me pull it up. I think that's... I can tell you... Here, let me give you a little tip on how much I pay attention to leagues and versus I don't. So I have my leagues organized, Mike. I don't know how you do your sleeper. I'll give everyone a little quick quo pro. All right? So I have my leagues organized at the top. The very, very first ones, unfortunately, they're my lineup leagues because I know I have to set my lineups on Sundays and I want to have them at the top. Right, so I put my lineup leagues there. Then I start with all my best ball, and I have like strong contenders down through to the mid contenders. Teams I'm looking at the playoffs, right? And then I kind of have the line drop from failed contenders essentially all the way down to full-fledged rebuilders. So as I pull up Shit Auction 5 here, 5 and 21. Let's see.
Yeah, you suck.
This is towards the bottom, but that's good. Most of my sucks are intentional. This one might. I just made a trade. I just made a trade yesterday. Did I check it? Yes.
He's chirping at you, man.
Jesus, I was actually expecting like worse than that, but okay.
He hasn't chirped me about Breece Hall since we found out that he's terrible behind that offensive line. So this is the way it goes. I'm glad his focus is on somebody else. It's on you now.
I mean, that's fine. You probably have better shots than when a trade I made yesterday. But
this feels
I'm
good
with
because
it.
usually I'm the one getting chirped at all the time. Like Twinkle Toes started this off by chirping you about Jamar Chase. Now Trip's coming after you. Thank you, people, for finally coming around. Okay.
Hold on. Let's not pretend like you act like you're the only one that ever gets chirped at on this show. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god.
Always chirping me.
Jeez,
and then because I answer most of these YouTube comments, like I gotta defend you too, even though I didn't say the thing. You hate Jordan Love.
No,
he comes out and he
don't
blows
even.
Up all of
Every single time there's a Purdy thing after a good game, he leaves him unresponded, so I have to respond to him. Don't you dare even. The capping and the misremembering are just insane right now.
What are you talking about?
They're on a different level than ever before.
It's
Get
erroneous on all accounts.
On all accounts. That's fair. That's 100% true. All right, I had a good thing to pull up, and now I lost it. Damn.
We got one from Twinkle
Toes. Okay. Best strategy to dip back into the draft after a contending run with the youth to contend again, sell the RBs, or just try to run it back and use the 25 picks to upgrade roster throughout the season. I mean, I'm selling the RBs. I don't
sell the running backs. They're the most fragile asset in Dynasty.
Like outside of Gibbs, Bijan, Brees types, and I'm telling you, it's a very, 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 very select few. I am in a rebuild. I'm selling every running back always. Period. Done.
End of list.
I'm not kidding, Mike. I sell every one of them if I can. Now, if I have them on my roster and I haven't sold them, it's because y'all motherfuckers are cheap. Okay, but I want to sell them. Yeah, I want to. I want to sell them.
You're trying to get Rashad White off me for a single second. That's why he's still on my roster.
That looks like the 211 or 12. All right, don't be a dick.
Even though he's had a great year, right? But even I'm looking to sell Rashad White. Like, if you want to pay for him as soon as the season's over, go ahead, you take it, and good luck. I wish you the best. Because at some point, I think I'll probably be able to buy Rashad White back on fragility, bad play, running back. Your team's a rebuilder. You don't want running backs, right? That's how it goes. Sell the running backs, unless they're named Brees, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs. Easily.
All right, so there's a lot of chirping.
Would you put Achane in there, or does that, like, He's been banged up.
So
and, like, he had that knee and, like,
H.A.N. I would sell. He's going to be one of the rare examples of a guy where, like, if I had to go into next year with him in a rebuild, like, I'm not frantic, right? Like, if I have, like, different running backs like Brian Robinson, Pacheco type, like, dude, I do not want in any way to have those guys on my rosters, right?
Najee Harris, like,
yes,
bye.
H.A.N. would be one of the ones I'm like, all right. Like, I want to move him, but for whatever reason, the market wasn't giving me what I need. I would reluctantly hold, but I want to sell him too.
If, like, best case scenario, somebody was only offering you a single first in 24, you holding an H.A.N. or you selling them for the first?
I think that would depend on like if this team is absolutely guns a-blazing loaded and it's
It just came off a championship this year or a second place finish.
So are you telling me are you saying it's the 24-112 type pick?
No. Your team
Okay.
just finished.
Oh, gotcha.
As either the champion or the runner-up. Somebody else has the 111, 112, maybe your own.
Okay.
And they want to give you that pick for H.A.N.
And I'm looking to go into a rebuild, you're talking, essentially?
Not even go into a rebuild, but, like, just set yourself up for future success, right?
I don't think if I'm contending just coming off of a title without looking to rebuild, I'm going to move off of H.A.N. for a late first and a second. Like,
okay.
That's one of the he's one of the guys that I want to hold on to. He's not in the range of Gibbs or Bijan per se, but he's like the next line. He's like in his own class of I'm not really looking to move him on a contender. I'd rather ride it out. Everybody else though down from him, I'm moving.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
All right. Let's see. All right. So let's see.
Some good questions.
We got some good questions coming here, man. All right. Who was the 103? Gibbs?
Ooh, what was that from Dr. B about Tila?
Oh, yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, that's what I meant to get to. So there's some chirping up here about, like, they're not – I don't know that Lawrence is out multiple weeks. I'll tell you one thing.
Really?
Lawrence is not playing versus the Browns. I can guarantee you that. They're smart enough to say we're not putting him out –
against Myles Garrett.
Against the only thing the Browns really have going is a great front four, right? And we're good on that. The following week, I'm not going to say he won't play, but I guess the way I'm reading these questions is like, I would not be shocked if he misses 2 games. Now, if he misses, anything getting close to really close to the playoffs, that would be a little more surprising. But I would not be shocked to see him miss 2 or 3 weeks here. I could see him playing after only missing 1, but I don't think it's a guarantee he's only missing the Cleveland game, frankly.
As bad as that looked, I would say the guarantee is he misses week 14 for sure, no question. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor though.
No,
he's horrible.
He's not playing this week just because of the situation too. I don't think.
And there was some speculation about it being broken. I guess it wasn't broken.
No break. It's a high ankle sprain. Yeah.
High ankle sprain. My guess is, listen, this is just my guess, but week 14 is a lock that he misses. Now, say the unlikely thing happens, right? The Jags as a team are good. It wasn't all Trevor Lawrence, right? They won games earlier in the year without Trevor Lawrence even playing well and actually kind of being a hindrance. So, hypothetically, Adam, just follow me. Let's say that they do beat the Browns, right?
Okay.
With C.J. Beathard.
Sure.
And you guys got Joe Flacco, so it isn't like a, holy shit, you beat the Browns. Like, this elite team. Like, you beat Joe Flacco.
Even though, for those that don't remember, P.J. Walker the Niners not that long ago. This is not a team that's guaranteed to win any week, frankly. So, yes. Correct.
Right. So, hypothetically, let's say they get a win this week. Right. So
if the Jags get a win this week, for those that don't know, though, that's going to put them it obviously will depend on what the Colts and the Texans do, but that'll be a big win for them with T.Law not playing.
Right. So they're at, 9-4?
They'll be,
playing
yes, correct.
The Ravens on Sunday night. If T.Law is not, fully ready to go, do they rush him back against a good Ravens defense? We just got a win last week. If we go 500 in these 2 games, we're kind of fine. We're just treading water. We're still clearly in the driver's seat for the NFC South and winning our division.
I think though, the one thing is this, Mike. I don't think that. I think the Jags. It felt like at least the way that they've been playing the last several weeks, like they kind of got a little kick in the ass and were woken up a bit. Like, hey, this division is no lock to be yours. And I think if he's able to go, they're able to get him out there. It's a Sunday night game on prime time. I think there's a chance he could play. I'm not saying he won't play. I don't think, and I don't even think if they win, they're going to be like, yeah, let's hold T-Law out one more week and see what everyone else does in the division. I don't think they want to have it come down to a game where they need to win. Later in the year, they do have some games there at the end. They play the Panthers in week 16, or week 17, and they play Titans at week 18. So, I don't think they're taking anything lightly. And if you remember, they've screwed the pooch before. We've seen teams screw the pooch with last week before. So, I don't think Baltimore's a guarantee, but if he can go, I think they're going to let him. They're going to let him play.
I would say if you got a trade deadline this week, though, like at least explore it. Try to get a good deal. If you don't have a trade deadline, Adam and I talked about this on America's Game too. I have a league that Adam's in where we even looked at it, and I go, I don't really have a lot of incentive to move Trevor Lawrence like right now. One, because there's no trade deadline. Two, because I'm the number 1 seed, and I don't have to really worry about playing again until week 16. Right. Yeah. So I'm going to know all the T-Law information by the time week 16 rolls around when I really need a quarterback of his caliber in my lineup, which it also opens up another couple teams who are going to lose or be out of the playoffs here this week, and then the first round, right, 2 more teams are going home. So kind of the same thing where you can just you don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think I'll say this too. Like, I do think with Trevor Lawrence with the high ankle sprain, like obviously quarterbacks are not as it's not as detrimental as, say, a skill player that's much more reliant on burst and cutting. But I do think, Mike, with a high ankle sprain, if it's to the degree that it looked like with his just pain, I think his rushing floor, like as far as any type of real scrambles, like realistically, that probably comes down quite a bit too, which I'm not going to say he can't be, still go out there with a high ankle and play well. I just think that there's maybe a lower floor, actually, which is hard to believe.
That's fair. I wouldn't say they have to rush. I know I saw Dr. B in here where it's the Mahomes injury for last year. Mahomes injury. This isn't the playoffs, though, right? This is week 14 of the regular season. They still have, 5 games?
I also
14, 15.
Here's what I'll say, too, about
5 games to go.
Listen,
I can do math.
Mike, you played sports. I play sports. I'm not going to act like I played at a level that's so high that I know what it's like in the NFL. But I can tell you that there are varying degrees of even high ankle sprains. There's varying degrees of low ankle sprains. Right. Like, just because Mahomes had a high ankle sprain, and actually, it was amazing, to be honest, how decent he moved, right? And it scrambled at times with that high ankle. Trevor Lawrence's degree of his high ankle sprain and Patrick Mahomes, they may not even be that close. I don't know that they are close or far apart, but Trevor Lawrence had no shot of coming back in that game, looked very, very vividly upset. He was visibly upset and pounding the ground as he tried to put a little weight on it. So the degree of which their high ankle sprains might be quite a bit.
Yeah. Could be.
I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just telling you that to act like he's missing multiple weeks is not. I don't think that's blasphemous right now. Would you be? I would be shocked if he plays versus Cleveland. Would anyone here be shocked? I would be shocked if he plays versus Cleveland, frankly.
I would be shocked if he played versus Cleveland.
Yes. Now, that's only 1 week. That's not multiple weeks. But
I would be absolutely floored from what I saw on the field, where I thought the way he went down, I thought maybe he tore his Achilles. Something bad happened to his lower foot that was so horrible that he went down, he tried to get up, take a step, plopped again. Off the field.
Trip Crown makes that is what I was going to say. Mahomes ended up playing through that high ankle sprain, right? And that alone is part of what shows me degrees of pain, discomfort, and probably how bad they were. Trevor Lawrence, Mike, the game's on the line. Competitors, when the game's on the line, you saw him. He wanted to play. He tried to walk on it and was pissed off because the game is over for him.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation. It sucks. He was in pain. He did not want to leave, and they walked him off. I don't know why. Mike brought this up in one of our shows earlier today. I don't know why they didn't bring a card out for your franchise player, but
that's fucking nuts. I did see somebody on Twitter say that.
Fizzle puts this out here too, right as we say it.
All the golf carts, fuck man. I was gonna say that maybe CJ Beathard was the cart driver, and he couldn't drive the cart because he had to go in the game.
That's
they need me.
4D chess. Yeah.
Jacksonville too. Like they're in the news. I guess there's an employee who embezzled like $22 million from him. So maybe he stole the golf cart too. Spent all their money on other things. I'm serious. They're in the fucking news.
I'm not.
Dude, like, stole
I know you're
a company
serious.
credit card or some shit. And, like,
I know you're serious. I'm just
$22
saying.
million fucking dollars. Like that's impressive.
What I'm saying is, it's just this humanity thing that we're supposed to have faith in.
Duval. Janky.
Oh wow, Matt Dennis, Bumblebee Mike today. I like that. I really do like that.
Matt Dennis out here like attacking me on the QB horde thing. Like I think I need to go on. Shout out Matt Dennis. This is my dude, man. That's my dude. He's got his own podcast, Elite Fantasy Nation. So go check that one out. Maybe I need to come on Elite Fantasy Nation sometime and fight it out with Matt Dennis. Let's go, buddy.
Mike, I'll tell you this.
I'll take that QB horde shit to my fucking grave, buddy.
Mike wants to talk about, everyone chirps at him, all this. I have yet to be invited to Elite Fantasy Nation or the Spotlight Series. And, it's...
Listen, we just hashed this out. I can't put you on the Spotlight Series because it's South Harmon.
I'm saying neither of us have been invited to the Elite Fantasy Nation. Like, come on. We wouldn't turn it down. Me. Oh, did he?
Matt invited
me. So
yeah,
there you go. Again, you've been invited and I haven't. There you go.
It didn't work out for time.
The timing, yeah.
Yeah. Because our content schedule is sometimes so busy. It's like Matt goes like, when can you make it? I can give you like a Monday night sometimes, or maybe like a Thursday night sometimes. Maybe sometimes good. Maybe sometimes.
I mean, our in season is a tough time to get us on guests. I'm not gonna say we won't try, but our schedule gets crazy. Yes, correct.
Off season much better.
All right, let's get a couple more questions, and then we got to get the trade show going.
Fucking Dr. B. Harris hates us, man. Don't trust my professional advice. I'm sorry, Dr. B.
Hold on. I have a question, actually, though. Has anyone confirmed that he is a doctor?
Has anyone verified? Or did he just stay at Holiday Inn Express last night?
They have, like, for... Like, if you try to go get a what do they call that? A student discount, or, like, you're retired, you're too old, you get a military discount, AARP type stuff.
AARP, yeah.
Yeah. You got to there's like a verified me now, right? They it's all done ahead of time. Like I haven't seen that blue check mark for Dr. B, like.
That's true. I know for a fact that Schumer's in nurses school. But I don't know where Dr. B went. He also looks like he's like 18. Right?
And Doc hasn't been invited on the Spotlight Series. People,
wow.
Mike, I'm sorry, but you're right. They're coming for you, buddy. I'm sorry. For anything I said, I apologize.
I should get T-Rock on the Spotlight Series.
Why don't you?
Hell of an articles, man. T-Rock, you want to come on the Spotlight Series? Do an interview? You do such a great job of writing, buddy. I know I'm biased because you work for me, but you're fantastic.
All right, Mike. I'll tell you what.
I enjoy it. I don't
especially
because you work for me or not. I'd read your shit.
This is gonna be this trade show is gonna be awesome. Maybe not in a good way, but. Let me say this, Mike. You pick the last two questions to get out of here on. All right, I want to see one. I want to see you read, and two, I want to see what kind of debauchery you pick.
See if I can read. We'll just go with the. Damn. Let me scroll up. See if I got anything. Fizzle's got one. 10 team. Start 2 QB.
Oh, what? Who would have known that someone would pick a 10 team with 2 questions left? I love that one.
It's Fizzle, man. I
know. You saw the avatar. You couldn't read. I get it. 10 team to start 2 quarterback. Okay, quarterbacks are Lamar, Fields, Tua, Dak, and Bryce. Damn. 5 quarterbacks. I also have 324 first. Would you trade Bryce Young for HN? Yes. 1,000 times yes.
Let me preface this. In a 10 team, yes. 12 team, I would have a little bit more reservation about it. 14 team, fuck no.
10 team is not even close to a debate for me, given that you have 5 quarterbacks, right? Yeah. Like 5 good ones. Well, 4 good ones in Bryce. So I'd trade Bryce for A-Chain in a hurry. 12 team, I think, I'll say this. In 12 team, if you had these quarterbacks, the only reason I might hesitate is because I think you have such a corner on the market. Right? Right. Like in a quarterback court, if you have these 5 quarterbacks, Mike, I think you would get more than just straight up A-Chain. Like that's why I would probably hesitate in a 12 team. 10 team, you don't have that type of leverage because it's a 10 team league. So I would take A-Chan here easy in 10 team. 12 team, I'm agreeing with you. I don't know if I would do it to be league specific.
Koopa did say we did learn that almost half of the Dynasty leagues are 10 man, but we also learned that almost half of the Dynasty leagues are more than half are 12 teams. So fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Okay, so half the people are doing it right. That's probably That's probably for everything in life, right? Maybe half the people are doing it right.
God damn, Brandon Sanders coming on here going for my throat too. Like, I thought we had something special, Brandon. He said, "Give me the college football legend and CFL All-Star Nathan Rourke over golf cart driver Bethard." Son of a bitch, Brandon. I thought we were best buds. We did a pod together.
Brandon, I was on that pod, and we are best buds. Just keep being you, buddy. All right, no matter what.
He's fucking dead to me.
Brandon, don't let this McNutted debauchery and drunken talk get you off your game. Listen, Mike has said a lot of things to me on air and off air. Hammered. You'll be okay. This will go by the wayside. And yeah, look at this. Maserati Marv. See, Brandon, you're not dead to me. Just know that, all right? Just know that.
I don't think that's how you spell Maserati, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's an S.
Do they? I didn't even know they did spelling in Iowa.
Fuck you, buddy. We got a great education system here, all right? America's corn comes from here, all right? The only reason the rest of you fuckers eat is because of Iowa.
Listen, if you want to know what Mike thinks about the Iowa school system, make sure you tap into tomorrow's episode. Okay, make sure you tap into tomorrow's episode of America's Game. You'll know exactly what he feels about the Iowa school system.
Last question. Put up that Mr. Wonderful JSN 12-team Superflex PBR. There we go. I picked the last one.
There it is. Okay, guys. Mike did want to leave. Sorry. 12-team Superflex PPR, tight end premium, 1 point. Best ball, start 12. 26 first, 26 second, 25 second. Is that too much in best ball format for JSN?
Because those picks are so far out, you have plenty of time to recoup them back, guaranteed for JSN. I'll go ahead and pay that.
I mean, I'd say it this way. A first and 2 seconds, generically, yes. Too much to pay.
If they were in 24, yeah.
20 like if you told me these are all 24 and 25 picks, I'm saying no, right? But
yeah.
Here's what I would say, Mr. Wonderful. I have been if you are doing the rebuild correctly and you're going to you have the assets and you're going to put it out that far, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. A lot of times I'll end up stockpiling picks, send my later ones in, and I have a good team now, so I'm okay with that. Because the picks are so far out, as long as you have the appropriate depth and good enough team to do this, fine. Because Mike, in best ball, that's the other thing we talk about. I want to keep my liquidity on lineup leagues because any single year, something bad can happen. Trevor Lawrence and Anthony Richardson could be my quarterbacks, and I'm in trouble, right? But in best ball, you have the ability to almost make sure you're protected from that by enough depth if you roster appropriately, right? So that's where I'm with you. It's still a lot, but I would do this if I was appropriately built.
And it's one of Koopa's dudes, right? Buy Seattle wide receivers here for the playoff push. You already saw him pay off big on DK Metcalf. So, also part of the reason why I was so happy, even if let's say Trevor Lawrence only misses one game, Adam. For those of you who don't know, we talked about it on 40, so that'll be out on Friday. But I sent away at the deadline because the deadline was literally that night. I had 30 minutes to get a deal done when T-Law went down with that injury. And I'm a contender, a super contender. I sent away T-Law and a third, and I got Geno Smith, James Cook, and Trey McBride back in a best ball league.
Nice.
If it wasn't Geno Smith and Koopa wasn't listen, his playoff stretch run is actually pretty nice, would I have been as excited about it, right? If I'm getting I don't know, pick a shitty quarterback in that range. Derek Carr.
Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right. So you believe you believe Koopa's logic on Geno of all people.
Now he's right. Did you not see that short I sent out?
He did about the pass catching weapons. I'm just playing because his Koopa's almost he's a person that's almost impossible to have bias, but Geno's one of the few people that he has bias on.
This chat is nuts too. T-Rock's trying to attack me, trying to say Adam. Apparently, I don't know that Ohio.
Well, hold on. Here, let's just talk about this for a second. Dr. B. Harris says, I'll share my NPI number, LMAO.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Mike, I don't know what NPI stands for, but I can tell you it's going to be some sort of number confirming that he's a doctor.
Practitioner information?
Physical therapist? I don't know what it is, but here's what I know, Mike. We've offended the man. We've offended the man in front of 68 plus odd people. Probably it'll be 1,000 by the time this is over. Okay.
Can it just be B. Harris, MD, next time?
Oh. Are you an MD or DO?
Or PT?
Or PT. He's a physical therapist. What is that? It's PT?
I don't know.
I don't.
It's PT something.
We don't know what his letters should be. We don't know what MPI is. So, Dr. B, that's all you need to know. Like we're playing up here. You can be mad at us. I would be too, but we don't have any fucking idea what we're talking about when it comes to doctoring. So, all right. This is a house of learned doctors.
But yeah, T-Rock, what do you
T-Rock
trying
says,
to attack me?
okay, he says, is anyone else scared of Mr. Wonderful's avatar? I like this. See, Mike, he knew that I would pull up an eggplant because it's supposed to be a question, but it's not actually a question. He says, Adam, apparently Mike doesn't know Ohio has corn too.
How about facts? You know how much I love facts. Okay. Who's
like
the
facts?
number
Like
one
you send facts still?
Who's the number one producer of corn in the entire United States?
I don't know. Can we ask Dr. B. Harris? He has the numbers.
It's Iowa.
Is it?
Iowa.
Okay.
We make 16% of all the corn in the United States. Well, Ohio does make corn. But
you know
guys
what?
Account for 3%.
I just realized something. Mike is so proud of corn, and you know why? I just realized. So
corn.
Our whole brand, right, is it's shit, literally, right? Corn's the one thing that survives shit. That's why he's so proud of it.
You spread shit to grow corn.
Right, like
everybody knows this.
There's only one piece of food that survives all your body and goes through your shit. It's corn.
If you guys would play some Farming Simulator 22, come at me, bro. I'll fucking gap you in Farming Simulator 22. I'll show you. I'll show you my farming knowledge.
Oh,
but
man.
Iowa's the number one producer in corn. A lot of people say Nebraska, which they're close. They're a close second. But kind of like the Black Friday game when the Cornhuskers played the Hawkeyes, they're always a close second. Fuck you, Nebraska. We're better than you. Always. Should have stayed in the Big 12. Sorry, sacks of shit. Just like the Cowboys, you're only good in the 90s.
Well, wow. Fizzle. Fizzle has been probably, the most astute he's ever been. He sends a super chat to us. And Mike is
That's
like,
true.
you know what? You know what Mike says?
Apologies.
No. No, it's too late, Mike. He goes, listen, Fizzle. It's never not a good time for you to catch a fucking stray, buddy. I'm getting attacked. You're getting one here. Mike, by the way, I had to pull it up just so you see the numbers. To T-Rock's point, he's not actually wrong. No one said that it's more than Iowa. We're in the top 10, though, okay? We're a corn state. We're bumfuck, middle of nowhere,
Well, fucking Utah grows corn. Like, who cares?
I mean, Utah is the last state that grows corn. It's 0.003%.
Like I said, who gives a shit?
No. Okay. Well, here's what I can tell you guys. You don't want to miss. Can I tell you what you don't?
Hey,
real quick. You do not want to miss. You do not want to miss the trade show this weekend. All right? Saturday premiere.
We're obviously looking at the same thing, but do you know what the middle part is? Right, that number right there, where Ohio's 564, 300,000. 564,300,000.
Well, it's during 2020, so COVID year. So trust all the numbers from COVID. What?
No, you know what that measurement is. That's bushels of corn.
Bushels. Okay, got it.
All right.
Do you trust this to be true? My point in 2020 is, do you trust it to be true, not the bushel? Sorry.
Oh, I definitely trust it to be true. I've been to Ohio. Like, I've seen you guys. Like, it's kind of what I tell you when I went to Ohio. I said it's kind of like Iowa, just with more people. Right?
No, I'm again. No one's debating that Iowa has more corn or less corn than Ohio.
Right.
I don't think.
Well, you come to Iowa, the reason that we have less people is because there's more fucking cornfields. Like, it's nothing but cornfields all over the place.
And I mean, you just don't have any big. You don't have any big cities or pro teams, really, right? So
no, not really. I think Des Moines is the biggest city in Iowa, and that's like a couple 100,000
yeah,
people.
that's there's
like, I don't know what
there's Cleveland. There's the mistake on
like
the lake.
1 million, right?
There's
Cleveland's like 1 million, ain't it? Give or take.
Yeah, if you include like the surrounding suburbs, I believe it is. Yes.
The whole thing of Cleveland. Yeah, we do that shit where like LA is only actually like 2-point-some million people, but if you include all the surrounding areas, it's like 22 million. Not that bullshit.
I think Johnny makes a good point. All right, because I don't want to get Mike so drunk that the trade show makes no sense. And Johnny Detroit's right, guys. Put your dick corns away. This pissing contest is over. All right,
Mike. Christian,
no, for the record,
clip the fucking corn measuring.
for the record, still, while he's telling me that he's got a bigger corn than I do, No one's debated. No one said they have a bigger corn than you do. All right,
my corn cob is definitely bigger than yours.
I don't doubt it. You know, I'll give you that. Now
it's definitely more buttery.
Now, when we get to the real banana of the situation, we all know who's winning that contest. All right, so
Banana.
Johnny, Detroit, we appreciate you. Everybody, single one of you here, whether you stayed the whole time, part of it, we appreciate you guys tapping in. Mike is trying his best to, piss off our, most astute members, our colleagues, and you. So just keep tapping in. I'll do my best to keep it on the rails. No promises as I'm drinking. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week for the Wednesday AMA. We're out of this thing.
Peace.
Peace.